Autobots, transform!
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 4 greatest heroes.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another toy review. I am George, the 80s Transformer fan, and in front of me I have DC Multiverse Super Friends waves, and I believe they're actually 2 different waves. Like, these came out first and then these came out second, but it's all part of the same line where they have a set of figures. They're based on the classics figures, and they're just further repaints of a repaint from a repaint that was repainted toy line and repackaged. So I'm a huge DC fan, huge 70s Super Friends fan, and on into the Challenge of the Super Friends and all that. I believe he was an original Super Friend. It was these guys, but not this guy. Anyway, and I've been wanting to grab some DC guys, or this scale DC guys, and put in my collection for a while. I never got into the original Classics line, and that's a long haul tell-all, but I was collecting other things when that was out. And then Matty Collector had a wave of what was supposed to be the Superpowers toy lines, and the Superpowers from back in the day where you squeeze the legs and they would punch and do all that type of stuff. They were based on the Super Friends cartoon. And so these are based on those that were based on those that were based on the classics, if you follow me. And if you don't, I don't blame you. But anyway, I seen these guys in the store a lot. And I kind of passed them up. I was trying not to go there with my collection and branch off and collect a lot of other guys. So my friend Lamont calls me up, like, "Hey George, I saw your DC guys at Ollie's." I'm like, "Get out of town." So I go to Ollie's and they had these guys. They had Batman and Green Lantern in my hand. I'm forgetting. They had Batman and Green Lantern at Ollie's for $9 instead of $19. So I went and grabbed these, and I ran back to the all the stores are carrying these right now. I ran back and grabbed these, so now I have them all. Now I'm collecting these, and my biggest fear is that they're moving on because I have another DC toy line I'm going to review where they build Clayface, and I think they might have dropped this. Mattel has a habit of starting something and not finishing it, and I hope they wind up finishing these guys. But it's enough on the backstory for these guys. But these figures are based on the 70s cartoon Super Friends, and they're colored and stylized to mimic that cartoon. Even though I don't think they nailed the head sculpts, they just use the head sculpts they already had of the figures they have been releasing for over 10 years in the classics line, just with a slightly different repaint. Here's the artwork from the 70s cartoon. Turn to the side of the box, there he is with the little rainbow thing that would come out when the intro was on. Here's Green Lantern. Here shows you the figures that were out. And the funny thing is, when they put a lot of stuff that I've searched for, like I never found Batman. I saw Green Lantern in the store one time, and I didn't get it then. I was like, I'm going to see it later on down the road. You know, they probably just came out. I'm going to start seeing them. Then I never saw them again until this wave. But it's funny how a toy line or a toy can be rare, and then next thing you know, somewhere you see it on social media or something, and some store got 1 million of them clearing out. And the same thing in this case. But on to his packaging. The back of the packaging shows the figures that you can get. And that's basically it. And on the Batman, I think Batman and Aquaman are only 2 in this wave with accessories. I'm going to review all these guys at one time because Aquaman and Green Lantern share the same body sculpt, and Batman and Superman share the same body sculpt. And I think from the waist down, they're all the same, pretty much. So, and on the back of, depending on who you have, they have the main guy featured here. Another thing, what I noticed when they did the DC line, everybody had hard plastic capes, or sometimes they try to make a little bit softer capes. And when they did the Mattel exclusive, where you could build Calabac, those things were sold for probably like $35 a piece. It's the same damn toy. It was just repainted, and you could build a cartoon accurate Calabac from the 70s and I guess 80s. But anyway, these guys have the soft goods cape, which I thought they should have did with that line, especially it was supposed to be the Superpowers line. Superpowers line came with capes just like these from the 70s. But anyway, here are the figures, and I'm going to start in the order they came out. I like to unbox on camera, share the experience. These reviews are unrehearsed, unpracticed. I don't skip. script. Let's just go for it. Get this guy open. Slide him out inside of the packaging. Here he is. He has a couple ties down here. He has looks like his grappling hook and a batarang there. A little cardboard shiny metallic background in there. You can see the Hall of Justice inside the packaging. And he had 4 little ties holding him down. Get Batman. And the cape comes loose just like the Superpowers toy line. It has the little piece of here that clips on to the back, identical to the Superpowers. And they didn't do this in the line that was supposed to be Superpowers line, which is like insane. Like, why would they do that? Take Batman, set him down. Feels pretty solid. I've never owned any of the classic figures. A friend of mine has them all, but I've never owned them, never really handled them. And I'm so excited to be unboxing and reviewing these. I'm going to take his batarang out. And this thing is a softer plastic. It's not too soft, but it is pretty soft, I guess, for safety reason. And then the little string isn't very long at all. He's not going far with that. But I think if you wanted to, you can put your own string in there, make it long, or as long as you want. And you can wind it up. Let's see if it stores on the belt. Then he comes with this little boomerang. Looks cartoon accurate. Look, it's very plain, very simple, like the cartoon. This little batarang. I said boomerang. His batarang. The bottom of the packaging is his Super Friends base. Here is his base. And in the back of the box is this cardboard image of Batman from back in the day, swinging into action. And on the back of that, it says "per." I guess it spells out Super Friends. I guess you combine them for the whole picture. And that just goes into the little Super Friends base. And you could just set Batman. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to take a look at the figure itself, bring Batman a little bit closer. Oh, and it would have been nice if they had maybe had a combined fold out thing in here, and you can put together and actually have like the Hall of Justice cut out. That would have been nice. Anyway, here's my very first DC Classics styled figure in hand. Turn him around. Check out his paint job. His paint looks pretty good. There's a little bleed at the top of the boots here and here. Looks pretty good. The face looks pretty good. Symbols painted well. Belt looks cool. Looks pretty cool. It's Batman. Alright, we can get right to his articulation. He can't look up or down. I guess he has a little bit of play there. He can look down just a hair. Head can turn and pop the cape off. Ooh, that is going to be annoying because that's like the second time that it's happened. This cape back on there. His arms will 360 completely at the shoulder. He can bring his arms up this far. With the little hinge in here. He has a bicep swivel. You can completely 360 his bicep. He has an elbow bend. This guy is very, very stiff. The little gauntlets are cool. They're a little harder than I expected, which is cool. He doesn't have a forearm swivel. His wrist 360s. And I'm sure it carries over from the left to the right. He has an ab crunch, and this guy is very tight. You're not getting a lot of motion out of there, but I guess if he was sitting down in the vehicle, it might help. A little bit of an ab crunch there. His waist 360s. And there goes his cape yet again. Maybe this is why they didn't do this over the years. Coming down to his legs, at the top of his legs. His leg to go out this far. And he has a second cut that allows it to swivel out. Has a hinge here. Oh, and you hear it popping. It's very stiff, or maybe I'm cracking the paint. This done slid into the cracks. So he can get his legs out this far. You can get the splits. It looks a little awkward because of the paint in the crotch. He has an upper thigh swivel. Totally 360 in. A knee bend. And the standard ankle bend. He doesn't have an ankle rocker. And that's pretty much all the articulation on this guy. So now I'm gonna take a closer look at the cape. That's kind of bugging me a little bit, and it is a soft cloth. I feel like it's made pretty well. It doesn't feel like if I'm gonna snag it and unravel the material at all. But the cape comes off pretty easy. It's a little bit annoying. And there is Batman, so I'm gonna get out his Batarang, see if we can get that in his hand. Like, it's not much to it, but there wasn't much to it in the cartoon. The cartoon was very, very simplistic. And I was a small child, so it really appealed to me. You can get this guy in a pretty decent stand with it, like he's going to throw it at somebody. And I don't understand, especially if they don't continue this line, it's all heroes. Like, where are the villains? So please, please, I hope they keep rolling out this line. But there is Batman. Oh, I forgot his grappling hook. So you could take this thing out, unravel it. Again, I'm sure you could take this loose and thread it with your own string and have it as long as you want. And it's just a shame. It doesn't hang anywhere on his belt, so he really can't put this thing away anywhere, or either one of them. So he's either holding it or you're putting it up in a drawer or something. So if I get this in this hand, that is a tight fit. But there it is. Get it in his hand and he can just and swing 2 feet back and forth. But there is Batman. Has a little peg hole under his foot and a little peg at the bottom of the stand. And everything's falling over. But you can get the Cape Crusader on his stand, and he doesn't seem to want to stand on there too well. You know, it's not really, I mean, it's like the hole is too big for the bottom of his foot. Yeah, you think he would stick to it just a little bit, and he doesn't. So that kind of sucks right there. On there, off there, on there, off there. It doesn't stick at all. So other than the little background, it's pretty much useless because he'll stand on his own. He has good feet, good ankles. He'll stand on his own. So next up, I'm going to get the guy, his running mate that he came out with, Green Lantern. Get him out of the packaging. Now this guy comes with no accessories. None that I can see anyway, which is odd because they've released this figure and used it mold to make different Green Lanterns and different versions of this Green Lantern. And the classics versions comes with all type of translucent, from hammers to big giant fist punching, to make Green Lantern and not give him an accessory at all. It makes this guy pretty damn boring. Well, anyway, here is his card. There's an image of Green Lantern there. It's all metallic-y, rainbowy, which is pretty cool. And turning it back, and it's ends or nins. So take that, put that on here. And the only real difference between him and Batman, other than obviously Batman is in his bat mask and he has the gauntlets, is the chest, the scope of the chest. I'm bringing Batman forward. Batman has a thicker, more pronounced chest, and his Hal Jordan's is a little bit flatter. And again, he shares that same scope with Aquaman, and Batman shares the same scope with Superman. So I'm not going over that again. But here is Green Lantern. Batman, you get back there. Green Lantern over here. He has the lantern symbol on his chest insignia. He's wearing the mask. And sometimes this figure will be represented with all white eyes. But he has pupils, eyeballs, everything in there has the white, and looks like a black or brown eyes in there, if you can see. And we're going to look for, there is his power ring. I thought he was so cool when I was younger. Like, he can make whatever he thinks of. Anyway, we're going to take a closer look at Green Lantern. I've already seen paint splotches here. The torso is mostly green plastic. It's green plastic already down here, and I'm assuming the black is painted over. And the forearms are black plastic, which is cool. And the gloves look to be, well, the hands are white, and this is painted over the black. He has a semi-open palm where I guess he can hold a lantern. He doesn't even come with the lantern. which is like, who made this decision after they've used this exact same figure and repainted it, given it different accessories with different repaints, and put it in 2-packs. They actually put it like in a Master of the Universe 2-pack with Zodak. And this one has no accessory, which is a killer. And he has the exact same articulation as Batman. But looks like, I don't know if it's because of the sculpt or the cape on Batman, but he can look up and down a little bit better. So I guess I'm going to go over the whole thing. Get his arms up this far. Arm with 360 completely. It got a little paint scuffing there. I don't know if I just did that 360 in. Yeah, because the arm is black and the green is just painted over. So he's going to suffer for some paint coming off, just rotating it in this joint. Waist, his ab crunch. I don't know, that too feels a little bit better than Batman. You can hear like the looseness. A little bit of click. Waist swivel, his waist feels a lot looser, more loose than Batman's. The legs down are the exact same. It's the exact same. Put this guy down here. And we're going to break out Superman.
The cosmic legends of the universe. Superman.
So you know what? I said to hell with all the unboxing drama. You know, I love to unbox, but it was getting a little tedious, so I just pulled them out. But here is Superman. And this is something you don't know about me if you've been watching my channel for a while. Superman is my favorite character, period. Fictional hero type over Optimus Prime and you name it. Superman is my absolute #1 guy. My #2 guy is Spider-Man. But anyway, Superman is my favorite guy of all time. I'm a sucker for Superman. And here he is out of the packaging. I can tell you right now, I don't like it when they do this. They should have made a 2-part. His hand is painted. It's not even a solid. I can see if it was one solid piece and it didn't rotate. They should have used the same skin tone they used for his face, for his hands, for his fists. And anything you might try to, I guess you can't put anything in his hands, but if he falls over and he, you know, on your shelf, you bang it and he falls a couple times, you're gonna, the paint's gonna come off. They should have used the exact same plastic on his face that they did for his hands. I think that's lazy and irresponsible. I hate it when companies do that. I can accept it around his neck because they used all blue for this part. Anyway, moving on to take a look at that. The bottom of his boots are red plastic. Yeah, I'm assuming that the blue part right here is just painted over, but they did a real good job on his boots and his legs. I'm looking at his belt. His belt, just like Batman's, appear to be yellow plastic with some red paint on it. Taking a look at his symbol of hope, the S on his chest is what it is. It looks a little bit thick. It could have been a little bit thinner, but it's pretty cool. It's okay. He has a little bit of paint on his shoulder. Then, in case you were wondering, he has the same cape as Batman. It comes off real easy, which I don't know what they could have did to prevent that. And speaking of his cape coming around, it's the return of the yellow S on the back. Absolutely love that. This is the Superman I grew up with. He doesn't look much like the cartoon. It's the exact same head they've been putting on all the Supermans. And I'm not going to go over articulation. It's the same as the other figures. Cape feels pretty cool. It looks like the corner here is a little bit rough. And like where I wasn't concerned about snagging it on Batman, it's like I'm kind of concerned about snagging his cape and having it unravel. But he feels pretty solid. He's a lot tighter. Maybe it's this body style. He's a lot tighter than Green Lantern. You can get him up and away, which is cool. My absolute favorite guy right here. Oh yeah, and you can see the blue paint coming off. So it's just the boot, the red plastic all the way up to the knee. And you can see it coming off right there. And you would think they would use 2 different plastics, and that way you can give it a boot cut. Like I say, from the waist down, other than like the individual stylized belt, they're exactly the same figure. So I'm gonna get this guy over here. See if he stands on his stand any bit better. Yeah, they barely peg in at all. They might as well not even have a stand. Gonna come over to Arthur.
Aquaman.
Take a look at his paint. His paint's done pretty well. They got the little scales in here painted on just enough to mimic the cartoon. His belt is like done poorly. It's kind of thick, and you can see the black bleeding through underneath. And he has a little bit of a paint splotch down here. Noticed that in the packaging when I first got it. They all have like the manufacturer stamping on the butt. And he has more on the back of his belt, made in China. And he has some more. Jeez, I can't really see it. Another made in China here on the back of his back. In his head, he looks nothing like the cartoon. He does look like this little artwork here, but this looks nothing like the cartoon, unlike the rest of the guys. The difference in his sculpt, he has different sculpted gloves, obviously, than Batman and Green Lantern, and Superman's not wearing any gloves, but he has a different sculpt here. And it is all the bottom of the forearm is all green plastic, and the rest is all orange plastic. Obviously, his neck is painted to his skin tone on top of the orange. Again, it's exact same articulation. Then he has the little fins down here, which is cool. But everything else, they just clone. Mattel is known for cloning a figure. And he comes with an accessory. He comes with Neptune's trident. And one thing of mine, out of the packaging, it's stressed right here on the middle fork. And if that breaks, it's just over. I don't know if you can see that stress mark right in the middle. I mean, it's just over if this damn thing breaks. And it's kind of warped. And it's like, it's not really a soft plastic. It's actually kind of hard. You think they would have made it a little bit softer for safety reasons. And I wish it was softer so I didn't break it. And he has two semi-open hands like Batman. Oh, wow. And he can't, I'm assuming he holds it here. But this is like the only place he can hold it firmly. Looks like. And he can hold it here and summon fish and things from the depths. There we go with the two hands. And he has a good articulation where you can do a lot of different things with him. Too bad they don't come with like stands and he can be like swimming and Superman can be flying and Batman can be swinging and Green Lantern can be lanterning. But yeah, especially Batman and Lantern, they didn't come with anything. They could have got a flight stand. So I'm going to get this guy on his stand. And like I said, these guys are nothing new. I guess I'll swing them around and see what we got in the back. Hopefully, what do we got? I guess I got these guys all out of order. Well, unfortunately, these four figures alone spell Super Friends, which makes me think they're not going to make any more. Which is kind of like, it sucks. It sucks if they're not going to make any more guys. I mean, there are no villains. There's no Luthor. And, I mean, what is this? Just the Encore? I thought the Matty Club exclusive where it came with, like, Missile Plick, a Gold Superman, regular Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and a Riddler. There was an homage to the Mexican version. It was just an overpainted Green Lantern. And then they just killed that line. And this line has no villains at all. And by saying Super Friends, I think that's it. This might be these four guys, and that's it. Because if you look on the back of the packaging, I mean, they all didn't come out at the same time. It's four guys, and that's it. And so that kind of sucks right there. So I don't know if anybody that doesn't have these might be interested in them. I don't know if I would try to track these guys down because this is it. It looks like a short run line. I mean, they're pretty cool. I like having that little 70s touch, that little throwback to the nostalgia of my childhood without having to pay the money for the vintage figures. Yeah, but I think it's crazy that it looks like this is like a 4-figure line, and 2 of the guys don't have accessories. If they were going to be like 4 and done, he could have had a piece of kryptonite. He could have had a flight stand. He could have had different constructs. At least the punching fist. No, wait. At least the lantern. He could have came with 2 accessories. And then if they didn't do that, you could have gave these guys a flight stand. I think it's insane that there for $20, this is all you get. And maybe you can consider the cape an accessory, the soft goods cape an accessory with Superman. And by the way, Batman cape is a lot better done around the edges than Superman's. And for figures that they've already released dozens of times, and they repainted each one of these guys over and over again. And it's kind of disappointing that that's all that we get, and that's all that I got. So yeah, if this is really it, it's 4 figures and done from this line, they just could have did so much more. Not just the with accessories. They could have had interchangeable hands, because Aquaman could have used a couple like swimming type hands. And Superman could have used the exact same thing with the one up and away hand. Then I guess, he really doesn't hold things, but it would have been nice to have an open hand. Maybe he could have held whatever you chose to put in his hand. But that's weird that 2 of these guys come with no accessories. That being Superman and Green Lantern. Then Batman has 2 accessories and a soft goods cape. This is George, the 80s Transformers fan. Thank you for watching another toy review, and I'll see you soon.
Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled.
Autobots, transform!